Hey guys, this is Mubashir and today we are going to analyze the weekly market in a short. For this week, basically we are going to cover the areas like domestic one, for the global and also for the crypto, right? As we do, right? So let's start with the video with the domestic one. So let's search the Nifty 50. Nifty 50. Okay. So it is our major index, right? So as we can see, the Nifty 50 has made it is all-time high again. That is 26,200, right? So if you see that like that, it is doing very good. But if we compare it with the last year, so it is not doing well. I mean, it is just consolidating because of all these geopolitical events. So despite a weak Friday, India benchmark ended the week up like Sensex and Nifty around 0.7% each. Will mid cap fell around 1.1%. Nifty even hit fresh intraday high around 26,200 during the week, right? So it matters because this is a headline strong under the hood cautions. Okay, and if you talk about the inflation, uh, India's CPI has crashed to 0.25% in October, the lowest in the many years, helped with the GST rate cuts and weak food or commodity prices. And if you talk about the growth number, flash PMI is to around 59.9%, still very strong, but the slowest in 6 months, led by the weaker manufacturing services trade robust, right? So overall, the rate sensitive plays positive. If you talk about the positive, rate sensitive plays NBFCs, autos, real estate, consumer durables, market already taking about RBI cut in coming meetings, right? And the if you was the current scenario, if you talk about the current scenario of the tariff, flash PMI notes export orders up to the slowest pace since March, blaming stiff US tariff that is 50% on Indian imports and tough global competition. Government has also announced around 5 plus billion dollars support, that is credit guarantee loans to help affected exporters. It matters because that confirms that the US tariff shock is not just a headline, it is showing up directly in export data and business sentiment, right? So, overall, we know that the FI is continuously withdrawing their money from India. That is, if you talk about the net sold for the November, it is around 4,200 to 4,300 crores so far. But selling has moderated, and they were net buyers on several days this week, net buying of 284 crores on November 20. And if you for 2025 as a whole, FIs remain big net sellers around 1.44 lakh crore. Will DIs and SIPs have support in the market? As we know that FI domestic institutional investors are increasing their SIPs, and that's supporting our Indian stock market. But it is not gonna work. Like I mean, FIs are the very important part for any economy. Big institutions like HSBC and Amonda turn in more positive on India. HSBC now target Sensex around 94,000 by the end of 2026, and Amonda calls India a top emerging market because growth normalizes and valuation peak. So let's if you talk about the rupee, and if you talk about the rupee depreciation, right, it is continuously depreciation, and rupee briefly reached around 89.58. Look at this, raising a volatility concern. Market experts open one of choppy days if RBI doesn't lean in more. Also, forex reserves jumped by the 5.5 billion to 692.6 billion for this week ended November 14, mainly due to the gold valuation gains. Multi commodity exchange gold is now about to 8,000 per 10 gram, which was around uh, below it is October record at 1,24,195 for the 10 gram. Now, uh, okay, as a global gold cooled with fading December rate cuts hopes. Okay, so let's go with the global one. That is, we can go with the S&P 500 for this. Uh, okay, sorry for that. S&P 500. Where is the? Okay, look like I have searched it wrong. Okay, we can go with the Dow Jones too. I have actually not added the and that's why it was not. Look at this. It was a clear jump. It was happening because of the US shutdown here. Look at this, around 2%. And now if you see, it was like a boost in the market of US. US market rebounded sharply on Friday because we can say there is a good news which is going around because there was data which was launched by the Fed that the US job was now stabilizing, right? But still ended the week down. That is S&P and Dow Jones is 1.9%, minus 1.9%. Nasdaq is 2.7%. Russell 2000 around 0.8% minus. Across region like AI tech overvaluation phase and sell-off in names like Nvidia, bagged indices, Reuters and others call it with a global route earlier in the week, right? Also, the Fed rates, so December cuts hope versus mixed signal, right? Minutes of the last Fed meeting and the commentary show the FOMC for in the split on the further cuts. Some members are caution on inflation, will other hint a December cut in is possible, right? Also, if we talk about the gold and oil, global gold saw volatile moves. Price briefly spiked around 4080 ounce. Then the trimmed against after the Fed minutes looked less deficit. Oil Brent slid sharply earlier, largest weekly decline in the month, helped by the talk of potential Russia-Ukraine peace moves and slower demand. Right. So if we let's move towards the BTC, it is the major news here for this week. Look at this chart. Look at this. It is continuously going down. BTC is not performing well. Look at this. If I consider this as a major point from the draw, look at this, it is down by the around. Okay, okay. It is down by the around 20 or 20.5%, right? It happens because Bitcoin plunged to the around 80 to 85. We can see that it is 80 around lowest lowest level in 7 months, down around from if we consider it from it is all time high, it is down around 30 to 35%, right? From like the all-time high it has made is in October, like it was around 1,24,000 if I am not wrong. Many sources call this Bitcoin worst week since the FTX collapse in 2022. This week alone BTC is roughly down by the 12% approx. Ethereum and other major drop is even more, over roughly 6. If we talk about the market cap, it has wiped out around 1.2 trillion dollars, right? So the major reason is that this isn't a small correction, right? It is a full risk of reset in crypto, spilling into the tech, AI, and vice versa. Many corporates and listed Bitcoin treasury companies bought BTC much higher. We know that, right? Reuters wants further force could push them underwater, forcing sales. But there is a positive news too, right? I mean, if you talk about the major reason because of which this crash happened, it was because of many reasons. There is a reason of ETF outflows too. I mean, large whales selling like 1.3 billion dollars and 1.9 billion dollar liquidation. Just a few hours accelerate the fall, right? And there is a positive news that the BlackRock is advancing a stake the Ethereum Trust iShares, that is iShares stake Ethereum Trust filing. Also, US OCC clarified that the national banks can hold crypto on balance sheet to support the blockchain payment settlement system. So overall, If you talk about the domestic one, it is doing quite we can say consolidation. It is in consolidation, it is not making that much big move. And if you talk about the global one, it is not doing well. I mean, because of the all the Donald Trump tariff, it was initially doing very well. If you talk about the Nasdaq, S&P, or Dow Jones, they were initially doing very well when the Donald Trump imposing too much tariff on other countries. But now it is backfiring to them, right? The US shut down, and then the other things which are impacting their overall economy, right? They have too much debt too. And for the crypto, it is quite very bad week for them. So I think if you want to invest for the Indian market is the best time, and for the US you should wait for them. I mean, there is a high chance that it is going to be more down from that level. And if I talk about the BTC, that is crypto market, is a good time to buy now, right? I think. Actually, I'm not to SEBI registered as any research analyst. I'm just providing my suggestion. If you want to go with that, you can go. Okay. Thanks for the watching. Have a nice day.